Good morning. I'm Larry Ryder, Vice President, Business Development and External Affairs here at Austal USA. On behalf of the 3,300-strong shipbuilding team here at Austal USA, welcome to our shipyard and welcome to Mobile for the christening of the future USNS Billy Frank Jr., T-ATS 11. It's a real honor for us here at Austal to host this ceremony, our 33rd christening for the U.S. Navy. Will all guests please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the presentation of flowers to our sponsor, the rendering of honors, and the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, the official party. Mr. Dave Groudon, Vice President, New Construction, Surface Ships, Austal USA. Commander Jeffrey Perry, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy, Command Chaplain, Bougainville, LHA 8. Ms. Jana Polzine, Deputy Program Manager, Auxiliary and Special Mission Shipbuilding. Ms. Cecilia Gobin, Matron of Honor. Captain Randy Slaff, United States Navy, Supervisor of Shipbuilding, Gulf Coast. The Honorable Antoinette Squally, Vice Chairwoman, Nisqually Tribal Council. Rear Admiral Mark Higas, United States Navy, Deputy Commander, Military Sealift Command. Rear Admiral Thomas Anderson, United States Navy, Program Executive Officer, Ships. The Honorable William Thomas Crystal Frank III, son of the ship's namesake and chair of the Wehalut Indian School. Dr. Brett Seidel, Acting Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition. Mrs. Peggy Frank, sponsor of the future USNS Billy Frank Jr., escorted by Ms. Michelle Kruger, President, Austal USA. The presentation of flowers to our ship sponsor will be made by Miss Margaret Ann Smith, daughter of Austal USA Program Manager Alex Smith. Margaret is an active member of her Girl Scout troop. She enjoys spending time outside and at the beach or pool with family and friends. Yeah. And she's quick. Ladies and gentlemen, Navy Band Southeast will now render honors to Dr. Brett Seidel. Color Guard, parade the colors. Platform, salute. Retire the colors.
Platform, ready, 2.
I would now like to introduce the Honorable Antoinette Squally to deliver a traditional tribal prayer.
Twaglapusi ab ishit ask obalitza sali skaliapchad. Good morning, everybody. My name's Antoinette Squally. My Indian name is Ask Obalitza Sali. I'm the Vice Chairman for the Nisqually Tribe and a language keeper. One of the messages I received from Uncle Billy is keep teaching that language. And with that, I will do opening prayer. Ochacha shaksi abad dai hatisas ochach altiswaf tuftichach altidishet. Kwakwafwa tibuth chafo altislache kwakwatlu hali ilchach altislache kwakwatlu ulach ilchach altislache ok adeitse chatwalti akitsa alashkil iishit yafti tsiaya yafti bak akbu atsi telbu swaf tuftin tech du iishit tech du tsiaya tech du bak akbu atsi telbu swaf tuftin agri debitsi chad oh, basista. And with that, I want to introduce our relatives, Zazalak, Wazikanam, and Carly, who will welcome us with a song.
Osiam titiab titiaya zadzlak tsidzda ati ilsta hobstad ati dwalti doflela tiguitid atias altaltabi hoiti dwalti sast heokchat atias atias yalabchat. Good morning, my friends and relatives, respected leaders, elders, and guests. My name is Zadzalak Cecilia Gobin. It's an honor to be here with you today. I'm up here with my family, my brother Wazikanam and his wife. We're from Tulalip and dear friends of the Frank family. And we wanted to offer a song here to open us up in prayer, similar to our relative, in accordance with our teachings that we never start any of our work here without prayer, readying our hearts and our minds for the work that lays ahead of us here today. So with that, we offer this song, and each of you can just pray in your own way. Thank you. Oh
Please be seated. I'd like to acknowledge some distinguished guests seated in the audience this morning. Mr. Chad Niblett, Community Relations Representative, Office of Congressman Barry Moore. Mr. Stephen McNair, Director of Governmental Affairs, City of Mobile. Dr. Mary Van Brunt, President, Spring Hill College. Rear Admiral Endell Lee, United States Navy, retired, former Deputy Chief of Chaplains. Chief Engineer Bobby Waters, United States Merchant Marine, prospective Chief Engineer, USNS Billy Frank Jr. Mrs. Beth Asher, representing the Society of Ship Sponsors and the sponsor of USNS Point Loma, EPF 15. And Mrs. Rebecca Byrne, President of the Community Foundation of South Alabama and sponsor of USS Mobile, LCS 26. Thank you all for joining us. We're also honored to have representation from several tribal nations affiliated with our ship's namesake, Billy Frank Jr., with us this morning. The Honorable Jamie Cruz, Vice Chairwoman, Squaxin Island Tribe. The Honorable Suzanne Donaldson, Council Member, Cowlitz Indian Tribe. Mr. Andrew Gobin, Executive Director, Natural and Cultural Resources, Tule Lip Tribes. Mr. Harry Whitford, Principal of the Wahilut Indian School. We're also honored to have several members of Billy Frank Jr.'s family joining us today, including his sons, Tobin and William Frank III. Will all the family and friends of Billy Frank Jr. please stand and be recognized? We'd also like to recognize all veterans and those currently serving members of the armed forces with us today. We are proud to have over 200 veterans as part of the Austal USA shipbuilding team. Please stand and be recognized. Christening events are a complex and involved process requiring weeks of planning. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the christening team that put this event together for us. Jess and the Austal USA team, and Alicia and the Navy team, as well as Ginger and the dedicated Austal USA volunteers for making this weekend's events possible. We also want to thank the Navy Band Southeast and the Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 11 Color Guard for their participation in today's ceremony. The band and color guard are integral to making this ceremony complete. Thank you to all of you who helped make this a memorable event. As I mentioned at the outstart, this is our 33rd christening, but is our first steel ship that we'll be delivering to the United States Navy and our first steel ship christening here at Austal USA. It was only 4 years ago, almost exactly 4 years ago, March in 2021, that Governor Kay Ivey, along with Admiral Anderson, cut the ribbon on our new steel panel line. 4 years after that ribbon cutting, we have come together to christen this 263-foot-long, 5,100-ton steel ship sitting next to us, a true testament to the remarkable skill, agility, and grit of the Austal USA shipbuilding team. Before we get into the heart of today's ceremony, we need to recognize one more person. Our longtime partner, not only in our transition to add steel to our capability, but also in the long-running and highly successful Independence Variant Littoral Combat Ship program, Rear Admiral Tom Anderson. Rear Admiral, nope, not yet. Rear Admiral Tom Anderson has been a near constant presence at Austal USA in this shipyard over the last decade. I think he's here almost as much as I am. And this is Tom's last ship milestone event here in Mobile. Tom, the Austal USA team thanks you for your contribution to building our Navy and your partnership with Austal USA. You've been a great partner. Despite the Steelers paraphernalia in your office, you're still okay. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. You know you're always welcome in our yard. Now for the ceremony. We're proud that the Navy trusted Austal USA and our team of skilled and dedicated shipbuilders to build this vessel. During this morning's ceremony, with the help of our sponsor, we will christen this ship and formally give her a name. To kick things off, our host and our first speaker, Ms. Michelle Kruger, President, Austal USA.
Thank you, Larry, and good morning. I don't know about you, but I am thrilled to be here. What a moving and touching way to start this ceremony this morning. I'm very appreciative that you've taken the time to join us here today as well. And I extend a warm welcome and a heartfelt welcome to our distinguished guests, honored sponsor, Mrs. Pagan Frank, esteemed members of the Frank family, and our shipmates, teammates, and partners. And on behalf of the entire Austal USA team, I'm honored that you're joining us today in the christening of our first T-ATS ship, the future USNS Billy Frank Jr. T-ATS 11. Today marks not only a significant milestone in the life of this remarkable ship, but also a testament to our nation's unwavering commitment to a robust and capable maritime presence. As we're all aware, the expansion of our Navy is a strategic imperative of the United States. At Austal USA, we are immensely proud to be at the forefront of this vital endeavor, contributing to the strength and the readiness of tomorrow's fleet. The future USNS Billy Frank Jr. represents a pivotal achievement for Austal USA. It's the first steel ship we will deliver to the Navy. This accomplishment underscores the ability of our resilience, our workforce, the capabilities of our facility, and the unwavering support of our community and our supplier network. In a time when our nation requires increased naval assets, Austal USA is answering that call at flank speed. This vessel embodies the skill, ingenuity, and dedication of our talented shipbuilders at Austal USA. From the onset of its construction, countless women and men have poured their expertise and passion into this ship. The name bestowed on this vessel, Billy Frank Jr., honors a legacy of profound significance. Billy Frank Jr.'s decades-long fight for justice and environmental preservation serves as an inspiration to us all. The future crew of this ship will be entrusted with upholding the values and the spirit this name represents. Of course, for those who knew Billy Frank Jr., know he is renowned for being a tireless, courageous, and influential leader. To the dedicated women and men who will serve aboard her, your commitment to our nation is deeply admired. You are the backbone of our maritime industry, and your unwavering dedication to safeguarding our freedoms and interest is commendable. Shipbuilding demands tenacity, decisive action, continuous learning, and resilience. Characteristics that mirror those of Billy Frank Jr. The Austal USA team exemplifies these qualities every day, working safely and overcoming challenges with remarkable efficiency. I am consistently impressed by their skill, dedication, and adaptability. I hold the utmost respect for each and every one of you. I firmly believe that we at Austal USA possess the finest shipbuilders in the industry. I'm so proud to serve alongside of you each and every day. Together, we are building the fleet of our nation that our nation needs to deter our adversaries, preserving peace through military strength. Before I conclude my remarks, I'd be remiss if I too didn't personally thank and recognize Admiral Anderson. your dedicated service to our nation, to the Navy, and to Austal USA. Sir, your presence will be missed, but your imprint on shipbuilding, the shipbuilding industry, and especially on Austal USA will be lasting. I'd just like to say thank you and ask for a round of applause. And to our esteemed sponsor, Mrs. Pagan Frank, we are so delighted to have you join us in this time-honored tradition. The future crew of the USNS Billy Frank Jr. is privileged to have you as her sponsor. Your spirit, your strength, your wisdom, and your good fortune will endure in her forever. Over the coming months, we will diligently work to complete the USNS Billy Frank Jr. and deliver her to the Navy. I am confident that this ship will serve as a vital asset, meeting the demands placed on her wherever and whenever called to serve. With the spirit of you, Mrs. Pagan Frank, her sponsor, and the mission-focused determination of her crew, I have no doubt that the USNS Billy Frank Jr. will serve our country with distinction for decades to come. And in the words of Billy Frank Jr., we must continue to stand together to protect the things that matter most. And for me, today, that means protecting our freedoms. So thank you all for being part of our Austal USA history. May God bless you all. May God bless our military, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Next, please welcome Rear Admiral Mark Higas, Deputy Commander, Military Sealift Command.
Thank you, Mr. Ryder. The Honorable Willie Frank III, Dr. Brett Seidel, Rear Admiral Anderson, our ship sponsor, Pagan Frank, leaders and teams at Austal USA, family and friends of Billy Frank, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm incredibly honored to represent the men and women of the Military Sealift Command, and more specifically, our over 5,500 civil service mariners that are serving around the world today as we christen United States ship Billy Frank Jr., the newest Navajo-class towing, salvage, and rescue ship. Marine Corps veteran and tireless advocate for promoting cooperative management of our natural resources and environmental protections, we are honored to sail a ship named for Billy Frank Jr. This great ship will be crewed by merchant mariners who will carry his name proudly around the world for the next 40 years or more. Every day, more than 140 Military Sealift Command ships ply the world's oceans and seas. Civil service mariners operate these ships everywhere international law allows in support of our Navy, the Joint Force, our allies, and our partners. Ships that refuel, resupply, and support our combatant fleets. Vessels that conduct ocean surveillance, range instrumentation, geographic survey, and navigation test missions. We operate hospital ships, submarine tenders, high-speed catamarans, and tugs and salvage vessels. And ships that preposition essential equipment and supplies forward at sea so that the Marine Corps, the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy remain ready and postured where they may be needed. Very soon, USNS Billy Frank Jr. will be added to this fleet. Towing, salvage, and rescue ships do critical work that enable the Navy to be ready for any tasking. We eagerly look forward to integrating this ship and follow-on ships of the Navajo class into our fleet. Like her namesake, our nation is fortunate to have Americans step forward from all walks of life to serve. Her Civil Service Mariner crew is represented here today by Chief Engineer Bobby Waters. Bobby and his shipmates will operate this ship with the same skill, resolve, and courage displayed by Billy Frank Jr. I'd like to extend a special thanks to the men and women of the Austal USA team, from apprentice to president, who contributed to this important milestone in U.S. Billy Frank Jr.'s journey towards service to our nation. Additionally, I want to thank the government and industry partners and all the subcontractors across America who have worked hard every day to bring her to life. Billy Frank's spirit is certainly embedded in this great ship, thanks to the attention to detail and the high standards of all involved. Finally, a special thanks to our ship sponsor, Peg and Frank. Today's ceremony marks the beginning of a special, lifelong relationship you now have with this ship and her crew. You will always be welcome on board USNS Billy Frank Jr., wherever she may sail. May God bless this ship, all those who built her, and all those who will sail in her as she carries the strength of our country across the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral. Next up, Rear Admiral Thomas Anderson, Program Executive Officer, Ships.
All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing? You're doing great. Look at this ship next to you. I mean, what a backdrop is that? How awesome. Larry, thank you for the kind words and the introduction and your friendship. What a great Navy day as we gather to christen a ship built to be at its best when those it supports are at its worst, named for a man who embodied that spirit throughout his life. I am grateful to be with you today, especially those of you who spend your days in the noble pursuit of building and delivering amazing ships like the future USNS Billy Frank. On behalf of our Acting Chief of Navy Operations, I would like to extend a special welcome to our ship sponsor, Mrs. Pegan Frank. As you know, Pegan serves as the Executive Director of Salmon Defense and is the daughter-in-law of the ship's namesake. Pegan, it was less than 2 years ago you were here to weld your initials and your husband's initials into the keel plate, and look at your ship now. Wow. A warm welcome to William Frank III, Pegan's husband and son of Billy Frank Jr., and the rest of the Frank family. I also welcome members and friends of the Nisqually tribe who are joining us today. It has been great to get to know you the last couple days, and it is truly special to have so many of you in attendance to celebrate Billy's legacy. This ship will be a tangible reminder of Billy's service to his country during the Korean War and to his community afterwards. His legacy of perseverance is embodied in T-ATS 11, and I know it is something that everyone here takes great pride in. Pegan, shortly, with the break of a bottle, you will christen this impressive ship, imbuing her with your spirit. With that, you will form a lasting bond with the ship and all who serve aboard her for decades to come. A heartfelt thank you to you for your willingness to serve in this important role, and again, congratulations. It is an honor for me to be here today not only as the C&O's representative, but as the Navy's lead surface shipbuilder, responsible for the construction and ultimately delivery of ships to our great U.S. fleet. I know what it takes to build ships and the importance of the collective Navy and industry team working together to bring a ship to life. Thank you to all of you who have spent yourselves in the design, material procurement, construction, and test of this first of class ship. I know that T-ATS 11 is particularly special to you as the first steel ship built here at Austal. And I guarantee you it's not only the first ship built here at Austal, but it's one that's built to exacting standards and is going to do the nation's bidding when we put her to sea. Just a few years ago, I was here at the shipyard for the ceremony celebrating the new state-of-the-art steel facility that was poised to add capability and capacity to our Navy's fleet. It is amazing to see in such a short period of time those first pieces of steel turned into this tremendous ship, and we look forward to the next one right behind her, I say that figuratively, but if you turn around literally, you can see the next one right behind her getting built. Awesome. T-ATS 11 and her sister ships are multi-mission common hull platforms that will deploy to support a range of missions such as towing, rescue, salvage, humanitarian assistance, oil spill response, and wide area search and surveillance. They are built to stringent standards so that when they are called to action, they can execute without fail. What are some of the impressive features of this ship, you might ask? It is capable of towing Navy ships to include our largest vessels, aircraft carriers, in harsh weather conditions. For perspective, she has enough towing force to tow 2 cruise ships simultaneously. Now you all, ooh, ah, right? Very impressive. She also has a dynamic lift crane. You can see right up above us, that massive crane, capable of retrieving objects like aircraft and other sunken vessels. The ship is designed to take on tough jobs. I have also heard directly from the Navy's salvage and diving community about how excited they are to be getting T-ATS 11 and her sister ships. With their predecessor ship class, T-ATS, mostly decommissioned now, the capability of T-ATS is needed as soon as possible, and the salvage and diving community is ready to make sure these ships get a workout. With such a versatile and critical mission set, we know, as I mentioned before, these ships and their crews must be at their best when those they are supporting are at their worst. I have every confidence that the world-class shipbuilders of Austal are building ships that are up to the task, and that the future USNS Billy Frank Jr. will be first among them. As mentioned before, and as I close, on a personal note, today will be my last ceremony in uniform at Austal. It is a bittersweet day for me. I have enjoyed over 16 years of building, trialing, and delivering ships with the Austal team. I have seen the yard expand from trailers to buildings, from hundreds of employees to thousands of employees, from aluminum to steel. Always expanding, but never taking their focus off of quality, cost, and schedule performance. As I said from my early days working with you, perform well and the work will come. And it has. While I will not be here for the rest of the journey, the team here will always hold a special place in my heart. I will reflect back fondly on our days in the trenches together, long days working through hard issues to get the job done. And with a sense of pride about the ships we have put to sea together, fair winds and following seas, Austal. Thank you for all you have done and all you will continue to do for our Navy and our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Next, please welcome Brent Seidel, Acting Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition.
It's this high thing all the time, right? Can you guys hear me okay? All right. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Secretary of the Navy, it's an absolute honor to be here in Mobile today for the christening of our fleet's future towing, salvage, and rescue ship, the USNS Billy Frank Jr., or T-ATS 11. As my first christening since assuming this role, I can't begin to tell you how happy I am it's happening here in the Gulf Coast. We got some nice weather today, and it's great to be here with you fine folks. Had a wonderful time last night getting a chance to meet some of you and meet some of our tribal leaders in the Frank family, and really appreciate the hospitality on all fronts. I would like to begin by thanking our industry partners who made today possible. Michelle Kruger, thank you for everything you and the great team here at Austal are doing and have done to provide this valuable asset to our fleet. Mayor Lejeune from the City of Daphne and Commissioner Hudson from Mobile County, thank you for your service to the greater Mobile area and for your efforts to strengthen the bond between our Navy and this community. Admiral Haggis, I also want to thank you for being here today and for your leadership and guidance of the Military Sealift Command. The support you and your team provide to our fleet cannot be overstated. Rear Admiral Anderson and Captain Slaff, Also want to thank you for your service, dedication, and advocacy of our Navy and MSC team, and for your tireless efforts to build our fleet of the future. Admiral Anderson, given that this may be your last christening here in uniform, I also want you to know I have enjoyed our relationship and the strong support you have provided over the years. Best wishes to you on all your future endeavors. You will be sorely missed, my friend. We are also deeply honored to have the ship sponsor of the future, USNS Billy Frank Jr., here with us today. Miss Pagan Frank, on behalf of the entire Navy, thank you so much for being here. Your presence signifies a profound connection between the ship and those who will proudly sail on her. We are honored to have you in our Navy and Marine Corps family. A sincere thank you. We are also greatly honored by the presence of Billy Frank Jr.'s two sons, Tobin Frank and William Frank III. It was great to meet you both here last night and today, and the Navy is excited to have you both here to share in this event. I would also like to thank the leaders from the Nisqually Nation, as well as leaders from the Lummi, Squaxin Island, and Cowlitz tribal nations who have traveled here today. The Department of the Navy understands the importance of our relationships with and our trust responsibilities for our federally recognized tribal nations. We particularly understand the historic importance of Billy Frank Jr. through our regular and longstanding government-to-government consultations with the tribes in the Pacific Northwest. In an important way, the christening of the Billy Frank Jr. represents a bond between the Navy and the Nisqually people and the treaty tribes of Western Washington State as we honor the life of its namesake. And the christening of this fine ship in many ways comes at a perfect time. Later this year, our Navy will mark its 250th anniversary. Our story is one of defending our nation, defeating global tyranny, providing humanitarian aid, and keeping the global sea lanes open for the economic prosperity of all. I have taken to saying anytime I speak publicly in this role that the finest Navy ever assembled in the history of the world has been fielded by us, and that is still true yet today. So the Billy Frank Jr. is joining an incredible team, to say the least. Let's give it up for our sailors and Marines. Our Navy and Marine Corps are elite services, steeped in custom, and this christening ceremony is one of our most cherished traditions. We reserve the naming of our ships for special places, historic events, and great people whose distinguished contributions are worthy of our remembrance for generations to come. And in that vein, Billy Frank Jr. was a natural choice to be memorialized with a ship bearing his name. From boyhood, his father taught him how to fish, a tradition shared down many generations, nurturing his deep connection with water and salmon. He understood water as a source of life better than most, and it shaped a life of leadership and service. As a young man, he realized his dream of serving at sea, proudly becoming a United States Marine during the Korean War, and after leaving Camp Pendleton, he returned home. And it was his connection to fishing, his tribe's treaty rights, and his deep commitment to his people that manifested itself in great leadership and sacrifice. And for his outstanding contributions, he earned the nation's highest decoration, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And so, 2025 is a big year for the enduring legacy of this great leader. Our Navy's 250th celebration includes the christening of this grand ship in the same year that the great state of Washington is honoring our namesake by sending a magnificent Billy Frank Jr. statue to Statuary Hall in the nation's capital, where it will stand and educate our children and grandchildren about his national legacy. This special day would also not be possible were not for the great men and women of Austal, USA. Austal is one of our key industrial partners, building several different classes of ships to include our towing, salvage, and rescue ships, all put into the hands of our sailors and Marines who defend our freedoms. A lot is said about our submarines and ships, which are often described as strategic and/or national assets. And let me be clear, that is very true. But here on the Gulf Coast, there is another type of national strategic asset, and it's every bit as important as an aircraft carrier or an SSBN submarine. And I am, of course, talking about our shipbuilding workforce. From Alabama to Mississippi to Louisiana and Florida, naval architects, welders, pipe fitters, electricians, and other craftsmen are using their valuable skills to modernize our fleet. These skills are also important in defending the homeland. We need a lot more of these patriots, to be sure, but let me tell you, the Navy has and very much values our shipbuilding workforce. These men and women live a life of great purpose, and we need them now more than ever. This majestic vessel beside me is being christened at a time when our shipbuilding is an urgent national priority. And I am energized to work with Austal to address the challenges of our Navy and nation and what they face in new ways to strengthen our maritime industrial base and put more ships at sea. Its christening means a great deal to our Navy and Military Sealift Command, to the men and women of the Gulf Coast, to the tribal nations in not just Western Washington State, but everywhere, and to the family of the great man whose name is emblazoned on this proud ship, sharing his legacy across the world as she sails the high seas. As tradition dictates, this ceremony will be capped off with our sponsor blessing the ship by breaking a bottle of sparkling wine over the bow. This time-honored tradition has its origins back in ancient times. The Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks all blessed their ships, calling on their gods to protect the seamen who manned them. Pagan Frank will execute this very sacred duty while also giving the Billy Frank Jr. a blessing, tribal blessing of the Nisqually, adding another layer of protection for all who sail upon her over the horizon to carry out her mission. May God grant fair winds and following seas to the USNS Billy Frank Jr. and to our Navy, our sailors, and our civilian mariners. Thank you once again for your hospitality last night and for this great day today. It has truly been my sincere pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Seidel. It's now my pleasure to welcome our principal speaker, the Honorable William Frank III, our sponsor's husband and son of Billy Frank Jr.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here today. My name is Willie Frank III. My traditional name is Kolashkid. My mother was Susan Crystal, who is of Jewish descent. My grandmother is Shirley Crystal. My grandfather was Hyman Crystal, both of Jewish descent. My father, Billy Frank Jr., who we are here celebrating today. My father's traditional name was Cluckitza. Did I get that right? Did I get that right, boss? All right, thank you. Maui's our language keeper. She's always taking care of us. My grandmother, Angeline Tobin Frank. My grandmother's traditional name was Yucca. She was born in Mud Bay, Washington, not too far from Olympia. I was given my grandfather's name, Kolashkid, on the day I was born. My grandfather was born in 1879 along the Mutt Creek Village along the Nisqually River. Our grandmother, Angeline, who was really the boss in the family, was born in 1891. Our great state of Washington became a state in 1889. And I think about the legacy that our family has wrapped around our great state. Billy Frank Jr. taught us the importance of family, kinship, community, respect, love, and patience. My mother was a Jewish woman from Detroit who happened to fall in love with an Indian man along the Nisqually River in the late 1970s while working for former Senator Warren Magnuson. My mother's background was in federal Indian law. My mother was an attorney who studied federal Indian law under Professor Ralph Johnson at the University of Washington. Professor Johnson played a key role in the United States versus Washington, the Bolt decision in 1974. My mother worked for the Navajo and Hopi tribes in the 1980s before coming back to Washington State and working for two of our great governors and leaving an everlasting legacy on our state. And she was a beacon of light and hope for our great state. Unfortunately, my mother passed away in 2001 of cancer, but I am truly honored to have my brother Tobin Sugar Frank in attendance today to celebrate and honor our father. Sunny, Gail, and Rudy, thank you for attending and representing our family. My dad always loved spending time with you two. We always knew when my dad would go to visit Sunny, Gail, and Rudy in Fife, Washington, because he would always get a red light ticket on the stoplight right by their home. And so a few weeks later, we'd get a ticket in the mail, and I'd say, "Dad, did you go see Sunny, Gail, and Rudy?" And so it was always a laughing, funny joke. And so I want to also thank Clinton McLeod for being here today. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you for flying the red eye to get here. It's an honor to have Mr. Dorian Sanchez here today, our former chairman, longtime friend of my father, and one of my mentors. Mr. Bob Ayel, the Chief Executive Officer for the Medicine Creek Enterprise Corporation of the Nisqually Indian Tribe. Bob is also a port commissioner for the Port of Olympia. Thank you, Bob, for being one of my mentors and teachers. Thank you for stepping out of your comfort zone and running for state senate in the 22nd District in 2024. We fell a little bit short this time, but you and I played a lot of hoops in our days. We know that there's always another game around the corner. And if there's anything I can do to help you and support you, Pegan and I are here, wherever that may be in your future endeavors. I always like to say Bob may be our future governor of Washington State. Vice Chairwoman Squally, you truly are the boss and one of my teachers, the keeper of our language and communication. In 2014, we traveled to one of Dick Trudell's tribal leaders forums in Hawaii. That was the last trip my father traveled on, unfortunately. He passed away that year in May of 2014. And on that trip, we also had Miss Lorraine Loomis, who was one of my other bosses. And Lorraine became the chair of the Northwest Indian Fisheries Commission after my father passed away in 2014. We lost Lorraine a little bit early, but not before she left her legacy on our generation of men and women tribal leaders in our great state of Washington. And I want to thank Dave and Roxanne Hines for making the trip from Wyoming for this historic day. We definitely wouldn't be here without you guys. So I want to thank you guys for that. I love you guys very much. And any of the bling that you guys see, the native bling, were probably done by Roxanne. She's one of our master beaters also. My heart is filled with joy today to see so many friends, families, and colleagues here to support the legacy and work of Billy Frank Jr. One of his best life lessons my father taught us all was to be an Indian, we must have a lot of patience. And I would not be the man I am today without the love and support of my brother, Tobin Sugar Frank. Thank you for teaching me how to fish, hunt, and gather, just like Chief Leshai taught our people, just like Grandpa Willie Frank Sr. taught our folks, as well as Billy Frank Jr. And so I want to thank you for being here. I know you don't like traveling, so thank you for making this trip, brother. Billy Frank Jr. touched many lives from 1931 to 2014. My father left many pieces of a puzzle that we're all weaving together in our great state. And it's bringing back together our stories, our families, and our traditions. And I want to make sure that I acknowledge Mr. Whitford, Brenda, Mr. High Eagle, and Miss Liz for coming and attending on behalf of the Wahilu School at Frank's Landing. My father always believed we were on the good side of the battle, honoring and respecting the treaties that were made way back in 1744 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The treaties are the supreme law of the land. In 1854, the Medicine Creek Treaty was signed near the mouth of the Nisqually River, currently named the Billy Frank Jr. Nisqually Wildlife Refuge. And I must thank current Lieutenant Governor of Washington State and former Congressman Denny Heck for the 2016 Tell Your Story Act. In 1917, 2/3 or 3,300 acres of the Nisqually Indian Reservation was condemned by Pierce County to make room for what is today Joint Base Lewis McChord. It was not just the Nisqually Reservation that was condemned, it was the land all over the state of Washington being condemned, Indian land. Growing up, I always asked my father why he did not teach me the language. My father would say because of what happened to our grandfather, Willie Frank Sr., Kolashkid, who had his mouth washed out with soap for speaking our language. His hair was cut for speaking in his native tongue, but he was not a bitter man. He preserved our language and culture in a time like none other. Grandpa Willie was called a witch or a devil for speaking our traditional tongue and practicing our songs and dances. I am so grateful he pushed through that. In 1918, Grandpa Willie Frank Sr. purchased 6 acres of land off Wink Bennett near an old wagon crossing that turned out to be the Nisqually River I-5 bridge. The brilliance of Grandpa Willie to purchase 6 acres of land that turned out to be the center of the fishing war that took place in the 1960s and 70s. During this time, the state of Washington told Indians that they could only fish within the reservation boundaries. My father and many others within tribal communities said enough is enough. Fishing, hunting, and gathering were all promised in the Medicine Creek Treaty to our people and their descendants. Our father was arrested over 50 times in his life. Billy worked with tribal, state, federal leaders from across the country, including Senator Daniel Inouye of Hawaii, on the importance of tribal sovereignty, treaty rights, family, community, and kinship. Senator Inouye was the chair of the Senate of Indian Affairs Committee for many years in Washington, D.C. I can remember the senator coming over to our house as a young child. The senator was a veteran who lost his arm in combat. He was one of the most humblest human beings I'd ever met, and I didn't even realize the strength and power that he had for our great nation as he was sitting around the table eating dinner. My father, he marched with Dr. Martin Luther King in civil disobedient campaigns. He presented with the Haudenosaunee leader, Oren Lyons, highlighting the prophecies of the peacemaker at the Giants and Little People gathering that was held at the Wahilut Indian School at Frank's Landing along the Nisqually River. In 2019, my father and Mr. Oren Lyons were elected to the Native American Hall of Fame, which is located in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And I want to make sure that I weave our stories together during this time, and I want to make sure I acknowledge Mr. Josh Claus, a great friend of the Frank family. Please give our best to Catherine and the kids. Thank you for traveling this way. It means a lot to have you here today, sir. Billy Frank Jr. could have been a bitter and ugly human being for what he experienced in his life. The racisms, the beatings, the arrests, and he was not bitter. Billy Frank Jr. was not a getting arrested guy, as he used to say. If we really think about it, Billy and our other tribal fishermen were not breaking any rules or laws. They were following the language of a binding agreement and document from 1854. Billy became a bridge between tribes that didn't want to work together, tribes that don't want to work with the state agencies or officials, tribes that don't want to work with federal officials or federal agencies, state officials, and federal officials who don't want to work with tribal governments. Educating and working to protect every piece of land in Washington state, working with the state of Washington Timber, Fish, and Wildlife to create an agreement with Stu Bledsoe many years ago. Billy believed in co-management and the language in the treaties: education, healthcare, housing, trade, commerce, land, fishing, hunting, gathering, family, community, and kinships. We are all witnesses to this time we are in right now. We are in a time when we saw the first Native American Secretary of Interior, Miss Deb Haaland, a beautiful Native American woman who represented this great country. Thank you, Deb, for serving our country for the last 4 years in Washington, D.C. In 2021, I was elected chairman of the Nisqually tribe. I remember it was a Saturday morning and Pegan and I were getting ready to go work out. Pretty soon her phone rings and she didn't answer because it was a number she didn't recognize. She listened to the voicemail and it was Secretary of Interior Deb Haaland. I was really jealous about that, to be honest with you. I was the chairman and Josh, I never got a call from Secretary Deb Haaland, but it was pretty cool because really it was about lifting up our Native women. That's truly what this is about here, to see all the great women here today. Growing up, I was taught that we must have a balance in this world, male and female. Women give us life and bring us into this world. I want to make sure I acknowledge Miss Suzanne Donaldson from the Cowlitz tribe. Thank you for attending. Please give your mother our best. We love her very much. Vice Chairwoman Cruz, thank you for taking the time from your family and tribe to be here today and support the work that is ahead. We love you very much. You are a part of our family. Anything Pegan and I can do to help you move forward in life and move your nation forward, please let us know. Sita and Lonnie, thank you both for taking the time to travel to Mobile, Alabama to be witnesses to this time. Sita, you really are my big sister and you always will be. Joe and Joanne, thank you for taking the time away from your kids to be here to support my dad. Joanne, thank you for being there for my other brother from another mother, Mr. Joe Simonet. Fran and Debbie, thank you for attending this historical event also. You two are both rock stars in my eyes. Shayna, Bear, and Christian, thank you all for taking the time to travel and be witnesses to this event. I am willing to bet that when you boys get back to school Tuesday and the teacher asks you what you did over the weekend, they may not believe you when you first tell them. We love you all, and we'll always be here to weave through this world together. Please always remember to respect your mother. She is the boss. Fran, we have come a long way from 1-800-PEPSI in 2008. My father believed in your love and passion for protecting our environment. And Debbie, thank you so much for helping us tell our story. It truly is just a remarkable time. Miss Jamie Cruz, as I said earlier, thank you for taking the time, but you're also a graduate of the Wahilut Indian School. And to see you stepping up in your community means more than ever right now. But it also is so beautiful to see the connection of Grandma Angeline Tobin, and we connect our family trees and our bloodline. And Mr. Derek Sanchez, thank you for being a leader within the Nisqually community. Leadership is not easy by any means. As you can see, sir, what your grandfather and my dad and we've all gone through trying to move our community forward. Always be true to yourself, and remember when we head to Washington, D.C. next year for the Billy Frank Jr. ceremony that Mount Rainier, or Tacoma, will be able to hear you sing across this great nation. Thank you for stepping up to the call. I love you, young man. Miss Jackie McCormick, thank you for your friendship and leadership over the last 10 years. Thank you for the work that you do for our Native and our at-risk youth. You truly are a bright light in this world. We all need to commit to supporting Rise Above and the great work that they do for our youth. And I also want to make sure that I thank Blaine for attending on behalf of his wife, Nikki Bashu. Nikki was one of my best friends growing up, and she had the opportunity to travel to Italy in 1999 with my father. It does mean a lot to have you here today, Blaine, so thank you. Mr. Micah, thank you for being here today and representing Candace and Hanford. It really is an honor to have you here. I wish Hanford could be here today. He really is one of my teachers, mentors, and it is an honor to have you here in uniform. And I have two more people that I want to acknowledge. Miss Cecilia Gobin, as well as her family for coming and making the trip, but also accepting the responsibility of supporting Pagan in this role as a sponsor of the Billy Frank Jr. ship. We know at this time it can be a little bit fearful just with where we are in society right now. My father, many years ago, he would tell Pagan and I how much he believed in Cecilia Gobin and the work that he wanted to see her do. He believed that she was somebody who could change history and change the world. And if you guys get some time, please YouTube some salmon defense videos and listen to Cecilia talk. She truly is a rock star. And Cecilia, anything I can do, and Pagan, to make sure that we help you move forward in your life, please let us know. We love you, your dad, your grandfather, and your family. And of course, I'm going to close with my beautiful wife, Miss Pagan Frank. I can remember the day we met in 2005. It was such a great time. Joe was with us too. Joe probably thought I was crazy when I first saw Peg. I was like, this is my wife, man. I'm like, she's going to come back and live with us one day. Peg probably thought I was crazy the weekend I told her about that. And it's a funny, quick story here. We actually met in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We were down at a Native basketball tournament. And I actually knew Pagan before the tournament, though, but it was the first time we were able to get to know each other. And when I tell you it was love at first sight, it really was love at first sight for me. I've watched you grow over the last 20 years, Pagan, and turn into a remarkable Native leader, a Native woman, and most importantly, my best friend. I wouldn't be where I'm at without you today. You truly stepped up and supported me, along with everybody else in this room in 2014 when I hit a little bumpy patch. And so thank you for supporting me and standing with me. To think where we were 11 years ago to where we are today, celebrating this great ship. I don't want to take up any more time because I do want to hear Pegan's speech. And I know Derek's back there preparing for a song. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to the Navy. Thank Mobile, Alabama for allowing us to be here. And it truly is an honor to be here today. Thank you guys.
Finally, our most important speaker of the day, our ship sponsor, Mrs. Pegan Frank. Pegan Frank is an enrolled member of the Northern Arapaho tribe. She was born and raised on the Wind River Indian Reservation in Wyoming, but has spent half her life residing in the homelands of the Nisqually Indian people in Washington state. Pegan is executive director for Salmon Defense, a nonprofit organization dedicated to protecting salmon, their habitats, and the water quality that sustains them. She's also majority owner of a small firm that focuses on preserving and expanding the inherent rights and identified priorities of treaty tribes through the Washington state legislative process. Ladies and gentlemen, our sponsor, Mrs. Pegan Frank.
Good morning. My name is Pegan Frank. My Indian name is Senise. I was born and raised on the Wind River Indian Reservation. I'm enrolled Northern Arapaho. I'm also Oglala Lakota, and I'm German and Polish descent. My mother, Hebetta B., mountain woman, and my father, Dave Hines, are here to support us. Thank you. I had the honor and privilege of being one of only 2 daughter-in-laws to the late Billy Frank Jr., and the lifetime gift of being embraced as a daughter. Falling in love with Willie 20 years ago, I would have never imagined in a million years this little res girl would have the honor of being a Navy ship sponsor and helping maintain the legacy of an American hero and a giant in Indian country. It truly is an honor and privilege to be the sponsor of the USNS and Billy Frank Jr. It's extremely hard to eloquently describe and conceptualize yesterday's masting ceremony and coming aboard her yesterday. She is majestically phenomenal as she sits in her power. We have been working with the design team on the crest and seal of the ship, and unfortunately it isn't done yet. Perfection cannot be rushed, but I'll describe a little bit about the seal. We've been working with Antoinette Squally, and the Nisqually Language Department helped us in incorporating Southern Lachute seed language into the elements of the design. She will be the vessel of abundance, Tayoth Labokad, which translates into the spirit power that provides great abundance. For people living near the sound, it's encountered at the great depth of the sound, while those living upriver find it in the mountains and at the bottom of lakes. The coat of arms will be yellow to represent the power of the sun's illuminating transitions, also Billy Frank Jr.'s favorite color. On the crest, the Northern Star is the largest guiding star above Mount Rainier. The mountain is an insignia of great honor and respect, highlighted by the moon. Below the mountain is the salmon, which represents perseverance, self-sacrifice, regeneration, and prosperity. 3 smaller stars represent south, east, and west directions with the crest. The coat of arms is a yellow sphere surrounded by dark blue band bearing the name USNS Billy Frank Jr., and at the top, T-ATS 11 at the base. Enclosed by a red cedar rope border, inside the seal lays a tribal fishing net held together by cedar corks. The fishing net represents survival, and the cedar corks represent the power of the sea. Life has its peaks and valleys. Billy showed us how to conduct ourselves while enduring the cascading and turbulent times of his era. He made the hard days look easy as he radiated positivity. While most sitting in here, in this room, were too young to witness every stage of Billy's life, most here were able to witness Billy the man, Billy the leader, Billy the peacemaker, Billy the treaty rights protector, Billy the uncle, Billy the father, Billy the grandfather, Billy the friend. He was all of that throughout every stage of his life. Many of us sitting in the room continue to do the work that Billy left behind. It's challenging, but like he always reiterated, together we can make a difference. Willie and I are blessed because he surrounded both of us with people he trusted and respected as leaders and mentors. Now we get to do the work with those mentors and leaders and younger leaders sitting in the room with us. Some have also joined Billy in the heavens. We are joined here by our beautiful and magnificent matron of honor, Miss Cecilia Gobin, Zad Zalak. She was handpicked by Billy to work on treaty rights policy. He knew back then she would have the strength, tenacity, grace, and wisdom to carry the torch for the next 7 generations. We love witnessing her each time she takes steps into her power on the path we walk together as an emerging warrior woman and leader. I'm absolutely grateful for your friendship, Cecilia. Haho, thank you to our dearest friends and family who are here witnessing history with us today. This is the first Navy ship that will carry the name of a modern-day warrior who was a trailblazer. He embraced us all, held us up, built our confidence, and brought out the very best in each and every one of us. Thank you to the Navy, all hands on deck, assembling the ship, its captain, its crew. May Creator continue to bless your hands, your minds, your bodies, and spirits as she's being finished, so when she sets sail and all her missions are successfully completed. May Billy's torch continue to light all of our paths and the paths of future generations of the United States of America. May the USNS Billy Frank Jr. amplify and fuel the eternal flame that was Billy. Haho to our sister Antoinette Squally for your prayer and blessing the ship with the foundational first language that will keep its ship, its crew, and all who come aboard safe, healthy, and successful. Thank you, Derek, Andrew, Carly, and Cecilia for sharing your powerful songs at this powerful ceremonies. Our hearts are full. Alicia, thank you and your fabulous team for helping guide and organize our beautiful activities and christening ceremony. Your hospitality and graciousness means the world to all of our party. At the keel laying last year, I joked Billy may have more awards, honors, and recognitions than he was arrested for exercising his treaty rights. I don't know how a Navy ship can be topped after this, unless, of course, there were another to be named after him, but a submarine. He lobbied Congress very hard for a submarine. He kept asking for one, and he was never able to accomplish that. Undoubtedly, Billy is smiling with joy and pride with this tremendous honor from his beautiful country that he loves so dearly. Billy's presence has been felt, and if he were here physically, he would be grinning from ear to ear, and we would be hearing that deep Billy laugh echoing through this building and the ship's walls. Billy was a powerful beacon of prolific societal changes in our lifetimes. This ship will carry the spirit of Billy, which will provide a direct connection and vibration to our nation and the world's waterways. Thank you.
You can stay standing. I'll save you a step. Our blessing today will be delivered by Commander Jeffrey Perry.
Good morning. Please join with me in a word of prayer. Let us pray. Almighty and everlasting God, the one who is in all things and ever present, we ask for your blessing today as we commence with this time-honored tradition. In this moment, as we bear witness to the christening of the USNS Billy Frank Jr., may you allow her to take on the culture and values of not only her namesake, Billy Frank Jr., but also of that of the Nisqually people. As Billy Frank Jr. demonstrated throughout his life, the Nisqually tribe are a people who are known for long-enduring resilience, strength of character, and a wise people of this world. May these characteristics always mark the service of this ship and her crew. As the Billy Frank Jr. provides support of fleet operations, may she always carry out her mission with pride while keeping her crew safe throughout her service life. Bless her in such a way as to bring honor to the Frank family, the Nisqually tribe, and the U.S. Naval Sea Services. May the breaking of the bottle, the offering of the wine, bestow good luck and safe passage. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. Michelle will now escort our sponsor and the christening party to the ship for the bottle break. While the christening party works their way up the platform, we are honored to have Mr. Derek Sanchez, Sergeant-at-Arms of the Nisqually Tribal Council, perform a traditional hand drum song.
Hello, everybody. My name is Derek Sanchez. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just like to say, I appreciate all of you guys in attendance. This means a lot to me and my family and my people. This isn't something that happens any month or every year. This is something that I'll look forward to for the rest of my life. I said yesterday that I'll always be looking for this vessel on the water for the rest of my life, and I will. As this ship goes out there and gets sent on the missions that are very vital for life, support, the ship has a lot of work to do, and this is only the beginning. The ship will carry his name, and I'm very proud of that. Thank you, everybody. I hope.
Thank you. The christening ceremony is the formal blessing of the vessel and is among the oldest traditions of the United States Navy. It marks the ship's transition from a hull number to a ship with a name and a spirit of her own. This tradition has been honored by seafaring nations across the centuries to commemorate the introduction of a ship into their fleet. Through today's ceremony, we celebrate this important milestone in the life of the future USNS Billy Frank Jr. Please bring your attention to the bottle break platform, and just a warning, there will be a loud blast after the bottle breaks.
For the United States of America, I christen thee, Billy Frank Jr. May God bless this ship and all who sail in her.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's ceremony. I'd ask that the platform guests please gather for official photos. We'd like to invite everyone else back to the rear of the building here for a reception. Thank you for attending today's ceremony.